Hello, my name is John Brink. You're watching A History of the BC Forest Industry. Thank you for joining us today. Our show today, we are joined by a very interesting guest. His name is Clint Chappell, and he has, for a young person like Clint, an amazing energy, and he is the spokesperson for an organization called the BC Resource Coalition. So relatively new organization, but very interesting. So welcome to the show, Clint.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's a huge honor, Mr. Brink, and can't wait to get started here today.
Yeah, call me John.
Oh, sounds good, John.
So tell us a little bit about the BC Resource Coalition. But when did it start? What does it do? What are the objectives, and so on?
So the BC Resources Coalition, the BCRC, it was founded in January 2020. And really, though, we were really working behind the scenes for months on this before we kind of came out as a coalition, because we wanted, all of our rules and regulations to be proper, all of our, paperwork. We're a non-for-profit foundation. We wanted all that stuff to be proper before we came out as a coalition. So we were working for months and months behind the scenes. And then January came, we opened up our website, we opened up our social media, and we really started pushing the word out. And our focus really is that BC resources should make BC jobs. That's kind of our whole focus about it. We really want to advocate that, just because a resource facility is in your town, it doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. So in saying that, like if you work at a restaurant in town, you're getting tips from people that work in the facility. If you drive a cab in town, people that are taking those cabs work in the facility. So eventually a resource money will end up in your pocket, that will help you feed your family, that will help you go on vacation, that will help you buy the ring for your loved ones. Whatever it is, resources help people move forward. So those are our foundation principles.
So in a way, add more social and economic value to the resources of our province that flow directly to a broad sector of industry and subsequently communities, regions, including the person that has the little shop or whatever, but keep as many of those jobs in the region and BC as possible. Does that capture it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we really, in BC, we're blessed with so many great resources and so many great towns that are based on these plants. And like I've said, people that live in Vancouver, I don't think they fully realize that, I take my whole family down to Vancouver and I spend X amount of dollars down there. That means the resource industry is affecting those little boutique shops in Vancouver, in Victoria, in Fort Nelson. You name the places. Resource plants and resource industry affects everybody.
Yeah, but I always say 75 to 80% of the wealth or the GDP of the province, the gross domestic product of the province, comes from northern BC.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I couldn't agree more with that. I think that, unfortunately in today's world, it seems like us in northern BC and us as a resource sector get left behind in a sense, where people forget that, we fund so many different, at the Canucks games, just for example, when the Canucks open back up, how many people in that stadium do you think are affected or work for the resource industry through one way or another? That money is going to Elias Pettersson's paycheck eventually through the resource sector.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that I always say, the Prince George is the capital of the other half of the province.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We get forgotten about up here. That's what the point of the BCRC is to bring a voice to the people who don't always talk. And I think Northern BC fits that demographic.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about the structure of BCRC in terms of the governance structure. How is it kind of structured?
So the way it's structured is we have a president, a vice president, a treasurer, and a secretary. So they take care that the president is the chair of the meetings. We have a board meeting every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. And we've had those board meetings forever. I mean, they've like almost over a year now. So Willie Manson is actually the president of the BCRC. He chairs the meeting. And we have 15 board members. And the way we, it's through we have our own set of rules that we follow in the board meetings, and, majority rules most of the time when it comes to passing motions. And yeah, it governs itself in those meetings.
You kind of follow Robert's rules, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We follow the Roberts rules for sure.
Very democratic, so that the minority will be heard and has the opportunity to express themselves. So a very well-structured foundation for an organization. Tell us a little bit about the membership. How does that, and how much does it cost?
So we have 3 levels of membership. We have a $25 casual membership. We have a $300 full membership, and we have a $3,000 corporate membership. Those are all yearly fees. So really, the $25 membership, the casual membership, I view that more as a donation because what you get with that is you get our quarterly newsletters. You get certain updates from myself about guests that are coming on the show, some podcast information, some show information, some blog information. And then the $300 membership is actually a full voting privilege membership. So what that gets you is if you don't like me, if you don't like the president, if you don't like the vice president, you don't like the board members, you can actually vote us off every year at the AGM meetings. So if you want to get more involved in the BCRC, that's the one I suggest going with. And now the corporate membership is a $3,000 membership that gets you advertisement. We do our corporate shout outs. It gets you, it gets you close with some of the people who affect the industry as far as, certain projects that are upcoming. We have events that you can talk to these people at, and that comes with the full membership too. But I can speak personally with the corporate membership. The views that we got on our post, on our company's post were just phenomenal. I mean, it was really worth the money.
So there, hypothetically speaking, I want to become a member. Mm-hmm. How do I know the corporation will not control the board?
So the way that we control that is the corporation can't vote. Only you when you join the membership as a corporation, you get, like I said, all the ads that we can run for you, but the corporation doesn't vote on anything within the structure of the BCRC. But as a full member, that's how you gain voting privileges. So we really don't want a corporation controlling us. Now we'll work with them, obviously, but we really want to keep individualism. I think is very important to the BCRC.
Now, on the other side of the spectrum, then, in terms of a casual member, are they voting members?
No, they're not. Again, if you really want to get more involved, you have to be a full member. The casual member is awesome. If you can't afford to be a full member, that's perfectly fine. We all realize with these COVID times, it's tough to fork up the money to do it. But a casual member still gets you lots of information, and you can also further your business that way.
So then I kind of say, from what I've heard so far, and obviously I've known about the organization a little bit, and I think you and me indirectly as a group met once last year or the year before. The whole idea in terms of even becoming a casual member is if you, in a general sense, believe even as the normal persons are all stakeholders in this, because you must agree with the concept that the more value we had, social and economic, the more opportunities I have, my family has, for not only obtaining jobs, but, stimulating more value added in all sectors of the industry. And ultimately, even by being a casual member, we will benefit. The other part that it does, I'm just kind of getting carried away here a little bit, is that because at the end of the day, the question would be, as I asked you earlier, is how many members do you have? Because strength is in numbers, and politically that's important, but also from a conceptual point.
So how many members we have, I should know that off the top of my head. I know it's pushing like 70 members plus. We have quite a few, and there's a breakdown on how many casual and full members are, but we have about 70 members, paying members. that are
But
part of the
growing
BCRC.
as we
But
speak.
growing, as you know, once we started the BCRC show,
Yeah.
really the membership just took off. We were getting, 2 or 3 members a week at the very start of the BCRC show, casual, full members and corporate members. So they seen value in becoming a part of the BCRC, because when I'm sitting there interviewing Ken James, for example, the CEO of West Coast Oilfins, people start taking notice that, holy smokes, this group is actually talking to very important individuals in the industry sector.
And for the purposes of the record here, that we are not a member, but we will be.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
So you just need another one. So
awesome.
So we have the basic concept, and I believe in it because that too often we have projects that that we are not directly benefiting in Northern BC where we should or we could. There are numerous examples from it. The one that you just named, West Coast Oilfins, where there is always a danger that if something happens, projects like that, all the work is being done elsewhere, and that should not happen. And to see an organization like what you have been driving and the group around you, I believe offers great potential, and is another building block to further expanding the opportunities in Northern British Columbia. And so that's why I believe in it. Now, I want to get to something else. Now, tell me a little bit about Clint Chappelle.
So Clint Chappell grew up in Prince George his whole life. He moved away I moved away when I was 18 years old, down to Kamloops, British Columbia. I went to university there for a couple of years and realized that I was not going to become a lawyer, and that I maybe wasn't exactly as tradespeople can be. I wasn't exactly fit for university. As a university student, can be not fit for trades. I realized that I needed to become an electrician. My father owns Miltron Electric here in Prince George, and I thought that.
Just mention the name of your father.
Jeff Chappell.
Yeah, and so he's been in business for a long time here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 31, so my father started the company. My father and my mother started the company, and it's got to be 27 years, 26 years. It's been around a long time,
right?
What's that, sorry?
An entrepreneur extraordinary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, he had a vision, and he really hammered on that vision, and it's worked. It's been around 27 years, and I got involved with the company, and now I want to take Miltron to the next level, and really business develop the company into a place that really we never thought was possible.
So, and you're working full time at Miltron as well, right?
Yeah. My wife is really loving this volunteer stuff. So I get up at 5 every day. Leave the shop at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day, and then I go hang out with the family till about 8, 9 o'clock, and then I work on the BCRC stuff from about 9 to midnight, and then do it all again the next day. So
tell me a little bit about your wife.
So I met my wife was actually my French tutor in university, and we took French class in second year university together, and we fell in love, and we got married 4 years ago on September 3rd. So pretty soon. We have 2 kids. Peyton is our youngest daughter, and our oldest daughter's name is Luna. And my wife, Brianne, is my everything. She's my rock. I mean, she makes sure that I stay grounded. My head doesn't get too big with all this media exposure. So,
for sure, so there is a lot going on. And for what is your position again in the Resource Coalition?
So really what happened was that first meeting at the BCRC, our president, Willie Manson, he looked around and said, "Clint, you're the youngest person in here. You're going to be in charge of social media." And I was like, okay. I mean, I really don't do much social media stuff, but I can be in charge of it. Absolutely. So there's a committee that formed, and from that social media, we started, doing the BCRC show. We started doing the BCRC podcast, and it really grew from that. So really, it's technically media lead, media committee lead is my title, but I'm more of a spokesperson for it now, as I do all the shows and the Instagram lives and all that sort of fun, unique activity falls on my shoulders.
So you are what you are by accident or whatever. But in the short period that I've known you, you're the right choice for the job, in my opinion. And
Oh, thank you.
you know,
Appreciate that.
I'm impressed what I've seen so far. So then let us take it just a little bit further. Just one more thing about your past. So the lawyer thing kind of grew cold on you, and then you said, "Okay, I'm going to go into electrical stuff." So then,
Yeah, for sure. What happened was I just wasn't smart enough, to tell you the truth. My smarts are a completely different way than university
yeah,
learning. And I think a lot of kids find that out very shortly. I wish I didn't take me 2 years to find out, because it cost some money to stay in university. But I fully think that the university experience helped me build who I am today. I think I articulate a lot better because of university. I talk a lot better. But I wasn't meant for university, as the same way that some tradespeople who are in trades are not meant for trade school. I wasn't meant for university.
yeah, and then it's a good thing that you did, because otherwise, if you would have stayed the course, you would have been a very unhappy lawyer working
Yes,
for a firm and all the things that follow that. Not happiness anyway. So
100%.
I thought I mentioned that. So so one of the examples that I kind of comes to mind in my mind is the West Coast oil fence project. Ken James was kind of driving that with a number of other people, a $5.6 billion investment here in the region that would have created thousands of jobs, direct and indirect, right? Was
Oh
one
yeah.
behind it.
Yeah, I know. So West Coast Olefins is such a big opportunity, not just for, I want people to get it out of their head, not just for Prince George, not just for our area. It's a huge, huge project for the province. Like this is going to have effects downtown Vancouver, downtown Victoria. Premier Horgan is gonna hear about this project. It's going to create tax revenue. It's a huge, huge deal, and I don't think that people fully realize that it's not just Prince George that's going to get affected by this. It's the whole province. We're going to be able to show that BC is open for business, that will listen to these projects and will let them get at least to the EAO phase and get affected by, not having people just trash the project right away. Like, we really want these projects to at least get to that phase so we can show you that it's going to affect everyone in such a positive way. Restaurants are going to be busier. I don't think the Prince George movie theater can get busier, but is going to get busier. Cabs are going to get full, and people like myself are going to be able to work at that plant for our full careers. Even younger people, 18-year-olds can get in the trade, and they'll work their whole career for the West Coast Oilfins. I think it's a huge project and a huge deal for British Columbia, and it's a value add product. I think we have like $3 million a day that passes Prince George in the gas line. That might be a bit off, but somewhere around there that we can value add to. We're wasting opportunity, and I just don't want to see. I don't want to see waste anymore. I want to see progress, and I want people to realize that it is going to affect them, and in a very positive way.
So with this kind of project, the $5.6 billion, one of the key drivers behind the BC Resource Coalition was that what could happen is that a lot of the money that would be spent on the project would be done outside of the region. And BC Resource Coalition said, no, as many of the jobs as possible should stay here. That's the one. Then the other one is that it was not just the $5.6 billion, but all the spin-offs from that project would be massive. And I believe, was it in Alberta or where else, there are 3 or 4 different plants like this. It started with one, I believe it was in Alberta, but then the premier, I forgot his name offhand, said, let's go, let's do it. And as a result of that, it developed 4 or 5 different plants in Alberta alone.
Oh, I think, quite honestly, there's kind of 2 things I want to address there. One is, yes, we want as many BC jobs as possible working on the West Coast Oilfins project. And Ken and his team have proven that that's what they want. They want BC people to be working on this BC resource job. And the spin-offs, that's where I really am passionate about this, because I want people to understand that if we build one, more can come. And that means more jobs, more infrastructure, more careers are going to be built because of the first one that went in. And also the spin-offs, just like you're talking about, as I've already given examples for, like the people that are working at the gas stations, like you're going to be able to see more of these people be employed. And I think that's a huge deal. I don't think people really realize that this is a game changer. This is diversifying the province. This isn't just about the West Coast oil fields. This is also about the wood industry and the struggles that it's going through right now. I mean, it's not. I'm from the forestry industry. The forestry industry paid for my education. They paid for my house. They let me eat every single day. And when it struggles like this, man, it would sure be nice to have another industry to thrive on and to turn to.
Absolutely. And the fellow that you talked about that is pumping gas at the gas station, he should be a member of the BC Resource Coalition because he is a stakeholder as well, or she, you know, and that's the kind of members that you want. Now,
absolutely.
I quickly making sure that we can talk on for hours and hours.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing that I quickly want to talk about is kind of looking forward. And I've been in Prince George for 55 years. Obviously, I've been in business for a long time here, right from pretty much from the beginning. One of the concerns that I've always had is that we are so blessed with resources and opportunity in this province and in Canada, the best place in the world. And then, you know, so we have the resources. We are strategically located into future markets, may it be South, the United States and South America, Europe and Asia, that I believe all the opportunities are there. The entrepreneurship is there. The one area, Clint, that I'm most concerned about and have always been is access to a skilled workforce. And one of the areas that I got involved with both UNBC at the one point, you know, bringing that to life, and the other one is the College of New Caledonia. And about 20 years ago now, you know, I was quite involved in creating the Trades and Technology Center. You know, with that idea in mind, and my presentation that I gave at the time is the biggest deterrent to investment in this region will be access to a skilled workforce. So I make one more point, and then I want your comments on it, is that I believe we have now reached another point where we have to build, in conjunction with CNC, a center of excellence that develops those future jobs that we need in 5, 10, 20 years from now, in terms of sustaining the investment by others and adding more social and economic value. And it would be a form of the BCIT that we have down south. We need something like that here attached to the College of New Caledonia.
Yeah, so I'm a very sports individual. I love sports. And, you know, the one thing that sports teaches you is that you always have to look to the future. You can't just be focused on the present. So these basketball teams, these hockey teams, football teams, baseball teams, they all are always focused on bringing the youth up. So when it's time to have that youth in the lineup, they're ready to go. And really right now we need more facilities that can pump tradespeople through, and skilled tradespeople, not just an electrician, but maybe a instrumentation electrician, whatever it may be, very highly skilled, different types of jobs. And if we don't have that infrastructure in place, we need it. And up here in Northern BC, with the boom that's coming, not if, when the boom comes, we're going to need to make sure that we're prepared for it. So yeah, I'm full on board with anything that we can do to make sure that younger people, female and male, both have the infrastructure in place that they need to become skilled workers.
Yeah, and then at the same time, you know, what I'm kind of visualizing is the Center of Excellence, CNC, and UNBC is helping and training First Nations, who are major stakeholders in our resources as well, in training and entrepreneurship, so that there are equal opportunities for all. But we must have a place where we can train those skill sets, maybe be in robotics, scanning, all those future jobs. That most of the jobs that we see 5, 10 years from now are jobs that we don't even know about today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think First Nations development and of their trade skills are very necessary, and they're huge stakeholders in everything that we do. And we got to be cognizant of the fact that, you know, we're here because of them, and they are huge stakeholders and very important parts of the future of British Columbia.
Yeah, as we get to the end here, close, I want you to talk a little bit about BC Resource Coalition and give a pitch as to why people should become members, both on the casual, the full, and the corporate side.
I will, 100%. Thank you, John, for letting me come on. But you guys, we really need a voice here in Northern BC, in BC. We have, as far as tradespeople are concerned, we're very, very quiet, yes, sir, no, ma'am type of people. And we want to be your voice. But in order to be your voice, we need you to join so we can continue to fund the BCRC show, which is on our Facebook page every Thursday at 7:15, the BCRC podcast. All that stuff is funded by you guys. So we want to be your voice. And just remember that you are a BC resource and we are BC Resources.
And they're all stakeholders.
We're all stakeholders in everything in British Columbia. Absolutely.
Clint Chappell, it was a delight. and in you, I see our future at 31. That's my privilege.
Thank you very much. It was my privilege coming on. I look forward to doing more of this stuff with yourself, John, and the BCRC. Thanks you.
Thanks, Glenn. Nice having you.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching our show today. Our guest was Clint Chappell, an amazing young man, entrepreneurial, born in Prince George, in fact, and working in Prince George, who was one of the persons behind the BC Resource Coalition, a young organization that basically wants to stimulate adding more social and economic value to the resources in Northern British Columbia. And they have 3 different groups of membership. You should become a member. Check out the website. And again, thank you for watching our show, and we'll see you the next time.